Hey guys, I'm gonna walk you through one of my favorite shield builds. There are a lot of shield builds out there, but this one is my personal one, my personal favorite one for apocalypse mode. There's two variations of this build. There's one where it's going to be alchemist as a secondary. The challenger is always going to be primary. And I found a little secret tip with the secondary version of it with Invader Reboot. You can make a reboot, activate your shielded heart, and when you reactivate the reboot, you'll get your heart back, but the shield will carry over, which is actually really crazy. I tend to use Challenger Alchemist for the Frenzy Dust for the extra boost to melee attack speed, which will help you get to your shield faster. Of Shielded Heart with Mythic Shield Effectiveness with 20% shield amount, 15% health, and 15 attack speed. And for the melee weapon, which it revolves around this build, Shielded Strike, melee attacks grant a shield for 4% of max health. And because shield is scales off of max health, we want to increase our health as much as possible. For the mods that are going to help support us, we want Root Lash because the tentacles will deal melee damage. It'll do a little bit of stagger damage, and it will also lifesteal. For the rings, we have Seal of Empress, Brawler's Pride, Bisected Ring for infinite stamina, and Dried Clay Ring for whenever we activate our Challenger skill, we'll get more additional damage. We're using Wrathbringer because of Awakening. Whenever we take elemental damage, usually it's fire or bleed or something, we'll get max stacks and we'll have an extra boost of 50% more melee damage, which will increase damage by a lot. I'm sitting at 200 health, which is a massive health bar. The concoction you want to use Mudtooth's Tonic. For the primary weapon, we have the Black Maw with corrosive rounds and fetid wounds, so you can have 2 stacks of corrosion. They'll take extra damage from any sources, including melee attacks. Will do more damage. For the traits, we have Regrowth, Triage, Fortify, Vigor, Expertise, Siphoner, Shadeskin, Bloodstream, and Arcane Strike. Arcane Strike is also important and will help us to get our Root Lash. Here's the second variation. It is all the same rings and weapons, except the secondary archetype is just Invader. Whenever you sprint, you're going to get stacks of momentum. That's going to help us with melee damage. It does a little bit, I think it's like 1% more melee damage than Alchemist. So how the gameplay loop works is that you want to activate a heart, get 2 times shield, do a little bit of damage to get some more of the damage cap of the shield that you can have up, and then go for a charge attack. It'll do a massive amount of stagger damage, and it'll just do a massive amount of damage in general. If it hits a weak spot, it'll do a ton of damage, and whenever you do get the crit hits, it will do double damage. So what I like about shield is that it acts as a secondary health bar. It also negates all status effect damage to your health bar while you have it. And unlike lifesteal, whenever you get shield, it's like an instant second health bar. This is one of my favorite builds for Apocalypse because I just love melee.
My kingdom will not suffer the mockery of thieves. enemy in our midst!